In the grand arena of life, every man faces his own unique seasons, times of triumph, struggle, growth, and reflection. Your legacy is forged not just by the challenges you face, but by the quality of your thoughts and actions. Welcome to the Legacy Podcast with Ernest Wood, where we explore the path to true happiness, enduring legacy, and becoming the man you're meant to be.
Hey, welcome to the Legacy Podcast. I'm Ernest Wood. I have a great guest today, but as usual, like to explain why we do this. On the Legacy Podcast, we have different men come on. I believe that everybody has their own unique definition of happiness or legacy, and we get to hear from different guys at the different stages of their life. Some of them are in the middle of creating a legacy. Some of them already have created it. Some of them have found their happiness. Some of them are working on it. And today we have Magic Brad Gundam. And Magic, he's a magician. And he does some event planning and stuff like that. I'm going to let him take that over. And Brad, tell us a little bit about yourself.
You want to go from right at the very beginning, or you want me to? I can run through it. I've got a video on YouTube. It's 55 years in 5 minutes, and now I'm 67, so it might be 6 minutes. But I can condense it down too. But my story is when I was a little kid, a guy made a quarter disappear, a friend of my brother's, and he pulled it out of my ear, and it kind of made me go, "Whoa, what was up with that? That's amazing." So magic was interesting to me, and I did it as a hobby and into grade school and into high school. And I've always been, as a kid, kind of entrepreneurial. I always did the lemonade stand, and we used to do magic shows in the garage and charge the kids a quarter, sell them, Kool-Aid and cookies. And so I've always been in sort of events and creative and entrepreneurial. So moving forward into high school, I was doing magic. I never worked at a convenience store or anything like that. I never worked at a restaurant. I just was doing magic gigs at hospitals and churches and things like that. And then when I graduated in 1975, a friend of mine said, you should get a job. And I thought, okay. So another friend of mine, her dad was the state representative of Minnesota. And he said, we've got a Comprehensive Employment Training Act happening at the county. I thought, well, there's a job. I'm going to work for the county parks department, mowing lawns, emptying garbage, cleaning up the parks. And I had my little green shirt with my name on it. And jumping forward to about 4 years, they said, Brad, the program's over and we need to let you go. And I thought, where's my gold watch? I thought I had a job here. So I learned early that jobs are temporary. So I figured I need to learn a skill. And I went and learned design drafting. It was a 1-year course. I jumped right through it because their workbook was the exact same workbook I had in high school for drafting. So I buzzed through that, and then I started doing contract drafting, and I liked it better because I was going from contract to contract instead of the same old thing. But I didn't like punching the clock and having to be there. So I resigned from that and said, I'm going to be a full-time magician. And I focused on corporate because in Minneapolis here, we got a lot of corporate: Cargill, Medtronic, 3M, General Mills, Pillsbury, Land O'Lakes, Best Buy Company. All of them are here in the Twin Cities. So I thought I'll go for them because corporations have money and they usually have an audience. So that's where I focused. And then jumping forward to the 90s, and you get into the later 90s, this internet thing was coming along. And I kind of saw that. But back in the 90s, I created a trade show for event planners to come and find all the stuff they needed. And that was my lead source for doing magic gigs. So it's a simplification way. Instead of me knocking on doors and making phone calls and setting up meetings and contacting people, I had them come to me and fill out a little piece of paper that told me what their name was, what their phone number was, how much money they had, when they're going to spend it, and what they're looking for. And when they checked off magician, that was my lead. And I started mailing them postcards until they called me up and say, hey, are you available for a company picnic on August 15th? I go, sure I am. So that was easy to get gigs. And then this internet thing came along and disrupted things. And I started learning about digital marketing and I got into that. And then jumping forward to 2012, I was working with a guy and it got stressful and I had a minor stroke. And that's when I had the big aha that life is short, could end at any moment. So I realized that I need to take care of my health and myself and enjoy life. So I resigned from that company and started doing the online digital stuff. And then jumping forward, I started getting kind of lonely sitting on a laptop all by myself all the time, giving myself bad advice. And I wanted to get out to people again. And then I started the events back up. And this was in March of 2020, March 4th, 2020. So I just finished the expo
That
on
was
March
a pretty
4th.
bad time.
Yeah, just finished it on March 4th, and then the COVID thing happened and shut it all down. So I went into a tailspin, and now I'm redesigning some stuff, digital marketing. I'm sort of hybriding it with online and in-person stuff, and I keep it simple.
There's some cool things there. So you had like the entrepreneur spirit from early age, but then you let somebody tell you to do the what everybody else does crap.
The 9 to 5, yeah,
I so many of us, we all fall, or a lot of people fall into that, right? Hey, don't go outside the norm. Go get a job. Go get a job, buy a house, get a car, get all kinds of debt, and then be owned by the employer for the rest of your life.
pretty much. And I learned that I didn't want to do that.
How old were you when you went back to being a full-time magician?
Let's see. So in 1975, I don't know the age thing. You'll have to do the math. I'll give you the numbers, but I'm 67 now. I'll be 60 or 68 in June. So in 1975, so I just out of high school, whatever age that is. What is it, 18 or something like that?
Uh, about 52 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah. So I did the job thing for 4 to 8 years, I guess. And it went from waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, getting to the shop and getting ready and plowing snow and raking leaves. And at 4 o'clock, the bell rings and you get to, the Pavlov's dog thing.
Yeah. When
And then I did the
we start
contracting.
salivating.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lunchtime. Woo-hoo, we get to take a break for 15 minutes. Woo. And I fell into that trap. But then I did the contracting thing and it was, contract to contract, 3 months here, a year here, 6 months there. Um, And I kind of like that because you're going to different places. So that was, I guess I was 30s, 20, 25, 30s, something like that.
So it kind of offsets you for like what, 16, almost 16 years by somebody telling you, "Hey, go find a job." And then you started doing somebody else's idea of what your life should look like, right?
Exactly. I tell people that, I mean, it's okay if you have a job because that's what some people are for, but value yourself because what's happening is you're selling your talents, resources, energy, knowledge, and wisdom at wholesale to somebody else to sell at retail at a profit. And you've got a limit when you're at an hourly rate. Yes, you might have this $100 or $200 salary, but you're limited. I mean, you can have a whole bunch of money, but then when you're stuck going to the office and they give you 2 weeks off for vacation, I don't know. That's not my thing.
I always like for a job, I always say that they pay you just, or I've heard this saying, I guess, and then I borrowed it, is they pay you just enough to keep you there while you do just enough to stay there. And, it's one of those bad things. We just exchange our time for, a little bit of money and never really improving in life, man. Well, a lot of people, right? We get stuck in the rat race where you just, like you said, you have that capped ceiling and that's all you ever learn or know.
Yeah, you look forward to Fridays because then you got your weekend to yourself. And I find it ironic when people are at work, they talk about home, and when they're at home, they talk about work. It's kind of weird.
And we're doing it, 40 hours a week to get 2 days off at the end of the week. And then by Sunday, you're about ready to go back to work because your wife and kid are getting annoying. No.
Well, you're showing your age by saying it's a 40-hour work week,
Yeah, that's
because it's
that's a
not that
true
way
statement.
anymore.
Well, most places are way less, huh? 32, and I mean, like,
Well, it's changed with that, but they've now got another job because they
yeah.
need to make ends meet because they're at that cap. They're making so much at their hourly job, then they got to drive Uber and do DoorDash and then deliver pizzas on the weekends because they got to be able to make rent or pay mortgage.
You know what's cool is about your trade show, you were like the OG of funnels. That was like the original funnel right there. You created a trade show, you brought people in and you funnel them down to the magician, right?
Well, they this was before the internet, so they filled out a little piece of paper like this. It was a little registration form that gave me their name and their budget. We're planning a company picnic on August 15th with a budget of $15,000, and we want a caterer, a balloon decorator, a tent, and a bouncy thing for the kids, a face painter, and a magician. So I knew exactly what they were going for and how much money they had and where it was and when it was. And then I would just continually to make send them postcards that back then it cost like, I don't know, 19 cents for a postcard. And I could send a lot of postcards before I start going backwards because my fee back then was like $300 to do a company picnic or whatever. And you don't get a direct sale out of it maybe, but you do stay top of mind with these people. So when the holidays come around or the sales meeting comes around or a client appreciation comes around, I'm in their head.
That's kind of it's just I just it clicked in my little brain like you were how it's works just like how a funnel works nowadays, really. You have your site or whatever it is that you do. People come in, fill out a little bit of information, and you keep trickling your name out there until until somebody grabs and says, "Hey, this is the guy I need for this event." And then, so do you, and you went back to doing those events, or you're going back to doing those events now, right?
I am, but I'm doing it differently because there's so many events nowadays because the calendar is limited to 30 days a month approximately. And that's limited. And then there's so many people doing events because now you don't need to know the rules and regulations of a ballroom. You just say, hey, at the brewery, can I use your back room for a party? And you just do it. And you just go on to something like Eventbrite, or they got that Evite, all these digital things. You don't need to do an RSVP card with a little tissue paper in it where they check off chicken, steak, or fish. You don't really have to do that. It's all kind of for you. And then on top of that, you lay the webinars. And now you've got people from Denver and Los Angeles and Chicago, and they're all doing webinars on how to make money in real estate. And it's over the top of my event. So I'm trying to get my little event going, and there's all these other things on top of it. So it's really saturated. So where I'm doing it differently is I'm promoting other people's events and taking advantage of their event. So I'll participate. Like we do a cruise on the St. Croix River and the Mississippi River. So someone else is doing the cruise. I just show up and then I invite my ideal client to the event. And I might tell them to wear a red scarf or put a paper clip on your collar or put your name badge upside down. And now when I get on the boat, I know exactly who I want to talk to because they're coded.
Hmm,
And it doesn't cost me
interesting.
nothing for the cruise because someone else is doing it.
Yeah, so you're hopping on other people's events. That's pretty interesting. I like that. You got
Yeah.
to piggyback somebody, something.
Yeah, and they like it because they got more people on the boat, because everybody's got to pay an admission to get on the boat or whatever. And especially with some of the cruise companies here, the lake and river cruises, I'm inviting event planners to those events. So they're happy because event planners will probably use their boat for a company cruise.
Let's if you don't mind, we'll jump back over where you had that stress and that stroke.
Yeah, the stress, strokey stuff, that stuff sneaks up on you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that kind of stuff or not, but I'm pretty healthy, but I wasn't eating real good. I had a business partner that was a workaholic, which was kind of good. And he kept adding shows, but he wanted to keep everything internal. So he did all the sales. I wanted to outsource so we could sell more stuff, but he could only call so many people. So we could only sell so much. And it got to be where we were missing out on about a $500,000 of boot sales because he wasn't willing to let other people call. And it got stressful because we didn't agree with stuff. And I was, working a lot, going to McDonald's and having an egg McMuffin and a cherry pie and a cup of coffee. And then I came home from a networking event with a handful of business cards looking out the window. And I had this situation where it looked like, what was that? I thought someone did something to me. I look on the ground and the business cards are on the ground. I thought, wow, that was weird. So I run upstairs. I go, Monica, something weird just happened. She goes, why are you talking that way? You're scaring me. And I guess I was talking all like this and my hand was all crinkled up. And she was scared, but to me, I was just talking to her.
Oh, wow.
That was about a 3 to 5 minute episode of that. And then I went and had my head scanned. They said, you had a transient ischemic attack. I go, what? That's called a TIA. What's that? It's a mini stroke. What? Me? So I walk into my office. I said, Rick, I'm resigning. He goes, what? I said, I'm quitting. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to die in this office. So I resigned and I stayed on for a couple months just to pull everything together. But yeah, it shows that your life is too short and it could happen in a second. It could happen right now to either one of us. Not that it will, but
No, that's a huge thing. It's like so many people, we take our time for granted, right? We I, we all fight and argue about little stupid shit that doesn't really matter.
right.
And it's a waste of time, man. And like it's so crazy how we get caught up in that little, that thing of wasting time doing and then not taking care of ourselves.
But
We go ahead.
you know that little thing though? Sometimes that little thing, it looks like it's a little thing, but to you, when you're going through it, it's a big thing. And that's part of the big challenge is we put so much credit into these little teeny things. Like it's not that big a deal. Why are you going to stress out about it? It's just going to make you upset. I mean, I think that's one of the secrets to happiness is don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. It's not that big a deal. Just
I
enjoy
always,
it.
I've really been trying to work on like when I start stressing out about something or like being angry about something, is it going to matter in 5 years? Or is it going to matter tomorrow? Like, if you can get that like kind of wrapped around and allow that in your brain, man, it makes it so it is what it is, dude. There's no reason. Like most of the stuff we stress about, most of the stuff we have fear over, especially like fear, right? A lot of people have that fear. What is it? False evidence appearing
Real.
real.
Yeah.
And none of it usually even comes about as bad as we were thinking it's going to be.
It's how you respond. Like an example is something that happened to me. I stubbed my toe. This was years ago when I was angry, and curse words come out. It hurts a lot. Well, jump forward and stub your toe again. It's like, yeah, it's funny. It hurts like hell, but it's funny. I screwed up. Just enjoy it. It's the same thing.
That and that's so fun. That's that whole thing. Your mindset and your perspective.
Well,
Uh,
let me show you something magical about that. Here's an example of these two fingers are about the same size.
yeah,
From your point of view, from my point of view, this one looks longer than that one.
holy crap.
That's magical.
That is magical.
So it's all point of view, right?
That's pretty fun. How the hell did you do that? It's magic.
It
Uh,
is.
but no, those are the things like we could trick ourselves into thinking this world is the worst place ever, or you can go around and change your mindset, change your perspective, have some gratitude, and this place could be the most beautiful, wonderful, outstanding thing ever, even when you do stub your damn toe, because you're gonna stub your toe. You're gonna fall over, you're gonna get kicked, you're gonna fall, it's just how we react and how we respond to it. Or
Sometimes
actually respond, not react, right?
there's some situations that are going to happen, and then you need to take a breath and go, how important is this? Is this worth getting stressed out about, angry about? Is it really worth it? Like today, I had multiple things were happening, and like I mentioned before we got on here, that I kind of just let it go now. It's not that big a deal. It's falling apart, but it's okay if it's falling apart. It's supposed to fall apart so I can rebuild it. It's not, oh, I've been working on this for so long and now it's not going to happen. I missed a meeting. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Wait till tomorrow. It's a whole new day.
Another little fun or interesting point was your partner. He wouldn't outsource anything because he had to have like control of it, right?
Totally.
He didn't want to have anybody else screw it up. And I used to be horrible about that, man. I don't know if you ever went through that or obviously you had a partner that did it. It's all that perfectionism, right? There's no such thing as no anybody being perfect. We're none of us are going to be perfect. And once we learn that, it gives us like a freedom to allow other people to make mistakes also.
Well, I think it boils down to the competition versus collaboration or control versus letting things go. So for me, I would rather, you know, go to the store and buy 7 shovels and give them to different guys and share the wealth, and I'll keep a percentage of it while I'm walking around the lake enjoying my life. He wanted to be the guy working with all the shovels, in control of all of it and taking 100%. There's a saying about that. Would you rather have 100% of one person's efforts or 80% of 10 people's efforts? I would rather outsource and delegate, have someone else do stuff.
It's like that whole thing of having the job own you, or we can go with a lot of those different things. Like the even technology. Does technology own you, or do you use it, or you own it? So you can
Yeah.
use technology nowadays as those 7 shovels, right? There's so much AI out there. Yet some of us, me included, up to the last few months, have been like, oh, I'll just figure everything out by myself.
Well, there's a piece of software that I use that's kind of interesting. I'm using the free version of it, but it's changed, so I'm not sure if it's still free. But it's called If This Then That, which it's IFTTT. So what it is if this happens, then do this, do that. So I've got it hooked up to the Weather Underground so that if the weather changes, which it will, then tweet this or post this. And then this that I've got is a calendar of events so that the events from yesterday are not there. So it's always new information that's coming in. It's not the same stuff all the time. So every day when the sun's out and the cloud goes over, it triggers it and shoots that thing out. If all of a sudden it's raining, rain's coming down, it triggers it and puts it onto Twitter. If all of a sudden it's the sun is setting, it triggers it and puts something on Facebook.
That's that's pretty neat.
So
And
that way,
In San Diego, it'd be a little tough because it's just, well, it's we have a sunrise and a sunset, and that's about it. There's not a whole lot of difference in the weather.
yeah, but there's other stuff that happens like the
No,
wind.
the wind, it has it. So you could just set it up to anything like weather or
Basically, it's in
tide.
between. It goes between the stock market. If you want to set it when the stock market goes above or below something, then do this.
Oh, wow.
Or you could do whenever my phone rings, then do this. If I get an email, then do this. So
That's pretty
what I'm getting at
interesting.
is this is an automation because sometimes you can automate stuff where people know that it's not a human and they go, that's just an automated thing and I'm not going to pay attention to it because you're not even a human, you're a bot. But
Yeah.
this is a little bit different the way that it's set up because it's a calendar of events. Of course, it's not a human, but they're my events, and it comes in randomly with the weather. They don't know that unless it's got I put the weather. I've done that too, where it's the daily weather report, because some people are interested in the weather. So they see it's 78 and sunny here in San Diego. And there's the calendar events, things to do in San Diego. So
So
there's a way of
that's
automating where you don't have to make it impersonal.
that's pretty neat. That's kind of a cool way of doing it because it keeps it random and but it keeps you structured because you know it's going to be sending it out whenever anything happens.
And it's fresh because it's chronological. It's not going to post the past. It's going to post the future.
Yeah. So you have a YouTube channel, you do some social media, and then you have what all are you doing right now? I know you're working on getting those events. Are you still doing magic shows? Are you
Not so much because I only get paid if I'm on the stage. And my one of my values is freedom. I want to be free to be because if I would hate to have to, go to a gig when the snow is blowing and I'd rather stay home with the blanket. Or if it's a beautiful day outside, maybe I want to go walk around the lake or something, but I can't because I got to do this company picnic. So I'm not performing as much and I'm doing more with this technology and things. And again, one of my things is simplification. I'm using the affiliate model. Now, some people will say, oh, that's one of those network marketing things, or isn't that kind of complicated with all the technology? It's really not. Once you've got your affiliate link, all that is a link between a product and a prospective customer. So where I'm focusing on is subscription-based products and membership-based products, because then they're recurring. So once you get a sale, it recurs. Like I'm assuming you have a cell phone and you probably had it for a while and you're still paying the bill. Imagine
yeah.
if I would have sold you that subscription and was getting a 10% commission off your bill over these years. And now this method is scalable because you just go to another business or another human that might want to use a CRM software or even something like if this, then that, or there's stuff like that program I use for my live stream is StreamYard. That's a software that's purchasable and has an affiliate program tied to it.
So do most stuff nowadays have an affiliate?
You'd be surprised. There's a company local here that does bridesmaids dresses, and they skyrocketed when COVID happened because you couldn't go anywhere to get the measurements for the bridesmaids. So they just do it all over the internet. You pick out your fabric, and then they make the dresses and ship them off to the bride or to the bridesmaids individually. And that's got an affiliate program to it. So if I wanted to go into the wedding market, I could have them, I could promote that to brides. Or there's even an affiliate program. I don't know what it is, but it's for renting private jets. So there's probably a big commission on that of a private jet. There's another guy down in your neck of the woods that's doing solar panels and solar installation. So if I can hook somebody up with a Southern California solar installation, and I understand that's mandatory on new developments, if I can hook up
Yeah.
with a developer and say, hey, use my link for all your solar installations, I would get a percentage of all those solar installations. Yeah, there's everything that's on Amazon is with Amazon Associates, that's got an affiliate link to it. Everything on Amazon. It's teeny tiny commissions on Amazon, but I've got a software I use called HubSpot, CRM software. That's got an affiliate program to it. I've got another one called Thrive that's also a more simple CRM. You wouldn't believe it. There's affiliate programs for Best Buy and Target and all that stuff.
I didn't know the big guys like the Best Buy and Target had it. But I guess that makes sense because of everything is on social media nowadays, right? So all you do is promote yourself, you create a brand around yourself, and then if anybody likes you, they're going to take your recommendation to go use this place or that place or
Magic Bread.
yeah.
That's my
That's
brand. There's my logo.
that's a good looking logo right there. So how
Yeah,
long you been married there, Brad?
I don't know. I think it was
Oh yeah, you
2010.
don't keep track of time, huh?
I don't. That's behind me. 2010. So right now
2010.
it's 2020. I don't even know the year right now. 2025, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So there. What is that? 10, 15 years?
there you
Somewhere in
have it. There you have it. I was just chatting with a gentleman today. We went for a long walk because he just came into town, and both of us were having a little bit of relationship issues, and it's hard, right? Because a man and a woman, we look at everything in a whole different kind of way.
Yeah.
Like in general, the man is more logical, the woman's going to be more emotional, and they, fly off the handle on something that we're like, what the hell's the big deal? And it's all about, again, we take it back to perspective and mindset because we can allow we can allow that they're flying off the handle or emotional to ruin our day, or we just know, hey, that's the way they handle their stuff and that's the way they process it. And it's most of the time, it's really not even about us, right? It's not about, they're not mad at us, they're just mad at something else, but we're the closest one to them, so we're going to take the brunt of it.
Well, it's two different languages of how you talk. How you feeling today is going to be better for a female because they have feelings. Men don't feel, they're logical. So it's more like, when you say how you feeling, you feeling strong? How's your back? It's not so much your heart.
Yeah.
Interesting you bring that up because my wife has just got back from Arizona. She went to this training for a Colby assessment. She's a coach, and Colby is kind of like the disc profile or the Myers-Briggs or all that kind of stuff. But it's a little bit more in depth, and you learn about a person's personality and their characteristics, so that now you can communicate with different people different ways. So now she used to be more of a business coach, helping owner operators. Now she's going into corporate, helping like the upper management be able to talk to each other in the right way. You don't talk down to a woman and tell her she's not tough enough. Come on, suck it up. We're going to work after hours. Get tough, get strong. You got to use a different language for that, different feeling. And this assessment kind of lets you know how different people react to things. Like that's how I am with my wife. I understand how she operates and it's an emotional thing. So yeah, everything's okay. I don't care. There's no problem. It's amazing what a single rose will do once in a while. Cost you $3 at a convenience store. You get a rose and put in a little bud vase on the table. It's amazing. Good investment.
No, the little things, right? Sometimes those little tiny things add up. And then you can do it the opposite way. Sometimes when you leave your shoes out, it's really not that big of a deal. But when you left your shoes out, your underwear out one day, and then your shorts didn't quite make it in the hamper the other day, and maybe the snot rag didn't quite get in the trash can or it went behind the trash can. One little thing is not a big thing, but when 15 or 20 of those are all piled up in the wife's head, they become a huge thing.
Seeing this as a men's group, I got a joke for you it'll probably be appealing to the men and not so much to the women, but I think it's funny. So there was two guys. It was Valentine's Day, and they're around the flowers, and they ended up talking to each other. They go, "Man, they're expensive, aren't they?" The other guy says, "Yeah, the flowers are expensive too." Oh no, I take that back. It's a little bit different. They're expensive, they get older and older and then they die. He says, "Yeah, the flowers are expensive too."
You can work that in either way.
Got to be careful though. Protect yourself. Keep your hands up when you tell that one to the wife.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Brad, give us give us three things that you've learned in life that could help the next gentleman out, and maybe he won't make the same mistake that I've made over the time, or if you've made any mistakes.
Well, One of them is in an infinite realm of possibilities is the possibilities of the impossible. Don't go there. That's number one, because it's a brain twister. In an infinite realm of possibility is the possibility of the impossible. Don't go there. So everything is possible. That's a powerful one. I remember when Trump was going to build the wall and everybody goes, oh my God. Yeah. And David Copperfield just walked right through it. A lot of people can go over it. Some will just take a boat around it. Some will tunnel under it. Some will bribe the security guard. There's always a way through. There's always a way to do things. And if people have that mindset rather than, oh, I can't. So that's one thing I think is important is don't say can't. It's a four-letter word. The other thing I think is important is simplicity. With some of these internet things, the more links and cogs you put into the machine, the more problems you're going to have. You know, you keep on adding, oh, I'm going to forward this link to that link, and then it'll go to an email autoresponder that triggers. I just had a thing come through from somebody this morning. I was on my phone. All of a sudden, like 12 or 15 notifications came through. So they obviously had something hooked up to something when somebody did something. And I got a barrage of emails that came in. It was too complicated. That's what I like about the affiliate model is all it is a product and a prospect and a link in between. It's kind of like Jesus between God and you, just a link. So simplicity, I think, is really important. What do they say? KISS, keep it super simple.
Or keep it
And
simple, stupid.
well, I was just going to say my other third thing is to reframe things into more of a kindness way of doing things. Like one of my projects is called the Peace Police, and it's people going around and rewarding people for doing nice things as opposed to punishing someone for doing bad. And it's a mindset shift. You know, if you take it, oh, we're going to arrest you and put you in prison, all that does is makes a prisoner more educated because prison is college for criminals. But if you took them and put them into an environment where things are good and holy smokes, I can make a lot of money by, you know, helping people and making things work. They can get out of that bad mindset. So I think that's one of the things is be nice, figure out a way of being nice about it instead of having to put somebody down and yell at them, and it doesn't help.
That'd be kind of even think if the corporate world, like the little peace police, right? Instead of having your managers always, because so many places the manager just looks for all the bad crap that, you know, somebody didn't come in time, somebody didn't do this on time, somebody forgot to do that. And instead of always looking for the bad shit, reward more of the good stuff.
Yeah, I would do something like you bring them all into the meeting and say, you know, John, you know, you missed that meeting the other day. That's kind of a bummer, isn't it? Because Steve came in and we just gave him $1,000 bonus. And Steve, we really appreciate that. John, next time you should get your butt in here and have fun
More.
with it.
Yeah, I definitely would be a little bit more motivated to make a meeting.
Yeah. You go, what the heck? I was going to quit my job, but maybe I shouldn't.
I think we could take that into relationships too, though, right? Instead of always picking out the little things that our significant other isn't doing, is to be more mindful of the little things that they do.
That's what I said. It's a little rose. You get that little rose and it does something. It only costs you a couple bucks, but it sticks around for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's appreciated. Or do dishes once in a while, or you know, help and cut up the vegetables for the stir fry. Any little thing like that. Just something as simple as like vacuuming the living room. They go, "Oh my God, he's such a nice guy."
Sometimes.
It's a
Well,
matter of
Brad, huh?
a matter of choice, right?
Matter of choice, man. It has been a great conversation with you. We learned a
It's fun.
lot of little great tidbits there. I love the, you know, nothing's impossible. Uh, yeah, too many of us, it's all like we're like the story with the fleas in the jar, right? You know,
Yep.
you put the fleas in the jar, you put the top on, and sooner or later the fleas learn that they can only jump up to that top. So when you remove the top, they still won't jump out.
Yeah.
And I think in life, a lot of us, many of us get in that same mindset that, you know, it's impossible. But nothing's really impossible if you put in the work, you're consistent, and every single day you try and you just keep working at it, working at it, working at it. It's all about consistency and discipline and knowledge because you have to learn to not make the same damn mistakes over and over.
Yeah, some people say think outside the box. I say think without a box. There is no box, kind of like there is no spoon from the Matrix.
Yeah. And then simplicity, man. I love simplicity. I've been trying to simplify my life so much. I try to get out all the unnecessary stuff. And so many people, we have so many unnecessaries in our life, right?
Mhm.
And the more stuff you add, the more stuff you got to take care of, the more stuff that's going to take up time. And then all of a sudden, you have no freaking time to take care of yourself.
It becomes real evident in all this technology. You think you need this software, you need this app, you need that because it makes it so much easier. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to go work in the garden. What I got to do is go till the garden. So I just bring out one shovel. But instead, you bring out the rake and the hoe and the saw and the drill and the skill saw and a hammer and a box of drill bits. And no, just bring out the shovel. That's all you need. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. And then kindness. For me, I try to do one act of kindness every day, and it's one of those things that you never know like who needs that little tiny act of kindness.
Yeah,
And maybe that might be the best thing their entire day, just you smiling at them or you opening the door or you saying, "Hey, nice shoes." Try it. It works. It's super easy.
that's true.
Brad, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show, man. I
Thank
look
you.
forward to chatting with you again. I think we have a show coming up on yours, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Peace.